Climbing back upon... You know, I don't think we're gonna do that. I already did basically 2 rants this week, one of which was a Red Dead Online rant. So let's try something a little different, shall we? Instead of ranting, let's talk about improving things in Red Dead Online. By the way, you're welcome to chime in below in the comment section with your ideas how to improve things in Red Dead Online, specific topics you guys want me to cover when it comes to improving this or that in Red Dead Online, as well as this particular game mode, Gun Rush, which was added this past Thursday to Red Dead Online Beta on the Xbox One and PS4. Basically, it's Rockstar's attempt at a Battle Royale mode. Now, over a year ago, I actually made a video regarding an idea for a Battle Royale in Grand Theft Auto Online. Rockstar has attempted to do a Battle Royale of sorts in Grand Theft Auto Online with Motor Wars, but yeah, really wasn't that good. Sadly, the same can be said about Gun Rush. So here's the basics regarding Gun Rush, this LTS/Battle Royale mode in Red Dead Online Beta. There are 5 maps, and they're very small maps compared to what you expect from Battle Royale, like PUBG, Fortnite, or even Call of Duty's Blackout Battle Royale mode, which is quite successful now. In Red Dead Online Beta's Gun Rush, you have 5 maps. One around Fort Mercer, let's see, the Braithwaite Manor, up in Tall Trees, around the town of Rhodes, as well as near McFarland Ranch in Hennigan's Stead. Those are the 5 maps, and like I said, each one is rather small. There are 2 options when it comes to Gun Rush. You can play solo, or you can play in a team mode, and the team mode is very strange because sometimes it'll put you with a team of 2 or 3 or up to 8 players, where you have like 8v8 in a 16 player Gun Rush team mode, and sometimes it puts you by yourself. So yeah, the team mode is very strange. Now, the max players that you can have in Gun Rush is 32 players. Despite playing both versions of Gun Rush team mode, which was this past Thursday via live stream, as well as solo Gun Rush for this video, I was left rather disappointed overall. For one thing, even though you can have up to 32 players max in Gun Rush, it never even came close to reaching the maximum number. During the team mode on Thursday, when Gun Rush officially launched for Red Dead Online Beta, I think the max we came across was 16. But when I played solo, it was probably maybe 7 or 8 players, maybe 10. But obviously, yeah, basically a third of a full lobby for solo Gun Rush, which you would think would be the more popular of the 2, but alas, it was not. So some of the other issues that obviously we have with Gun Rush include this. The weapons and the horses actually appear on the minimap radar, whereas in most Battle Royale modes, you have to find those things with your eyes. You have to be on the lookout for guns and modes of transportation and health packs and armor, etc. Whereas you have to depend on the minimap in order to see where these items are. Like if you see a horseshoe nearby, you know there's a horse right there you can get on, which may be a good thing or a bad thing because people can easily spot you on a horse, but at the same time it does get you to the center of the map a lot quicker. And you can also, with the minimap, see the specific weapons that are nearby, like a knife or a type of pistol, revolver, shotgun, repeater, rifle, bow and arrow, etc. In my opinion, we should not be able to see those items on the minimap. It should be entirely up to what we can actually see in the game. If you can't see the fact that there's a pistol nearby and you miss it, well, that's entirely on you. That's your fault for missing that pistol, that knife, that shotgun, that horse. It just feels like the minimap radar is giving us a bit of hand-holding. Now, I will say one positive thing. You do not see enemies on the radar, unlike other modes that show the blips of enemy players. You will only see blips of ally players when you're doing gun rush team mode. So that is definitely a positive, and that's also in other battle royales like PUBG and Blackout, for example. So applaud Rockstar for not holding our hands too much when it comes to the minimap, but at the same time, I feel like showing weapons, horse icons on the minimap, completely unnecessary. Now, regarding the weapons and horses and items themselves, they are clumped in together too tight. And you see this in several of the modes, especially in the manor, or like at the McFarlane Ranch, in the stable. All the weapons seem to be in the same area. And that's not the way it's supposed to work. We'll talk about the way it should be in a moment. And when it comes to the minimap, a lot of people feel like that we don't need the minimap at all. We can take it or leave it. That's not the biggest issue for me right now. Some people think it's perfectly fine. We just need to remove the little icons indicating where horses and weapons are. Others think that we should remove the minimap entirely and you have to rely entirely on the main map itself and just use the compass. But that is a matter of personal opinion when it comes to how you want to play Gun Rush, or what you think would be a better way to go for this mode. And feel free, once again, to give me your views, your thoughts regarding Gun Rush below in the comment section. So we do have, similar to other battle royales, the ever-shrinking bubble. Now, it shrinks extremely fast in Gun Rush, and part of that is because all 5 maps are very small. But we also have a time limit. And the time limit is absolutely unnecessary because the bubble continues to shrink smaller and smaller and smaller, forcing everybody to eventually get into an area small enough where you have no choice but to fight it out in order for one player or one team to be left standing. So once again, the time limit completely pointless and unnecessary in Gun Rush. Now, this is how you get paid. You get paid in cash, and if you do really good, you also get some gold nuggets, and you also get paid in XP. Now, this is based on several factors: how many kills you get, your ranking, how long you survive in Gun Rush, as well as how many players were in Gun Rush, and how long the match lasted. In other words, how long did you last in Gun Rush? Did you make it all the way to the end? Case in point, believe it or not, I actually won 2 matches against several players. The first time I won was at the Manor. I got 8 nuggets of gold, $22.31, and 396 XP. And this match went on all the way to the end at the top of the Manor when the bubble was extremely small. My second win, where I got 2 kills as opposed to 3 kills from the previous win, I also got 8 pieces of gold, 8 nuggets of gold, $18.60, 330 XP. And the difference here was probably there were less people playing this round. A lot more stayed on, obviously, and didn't quit. They stayed on to spectate, and the match probably didn't go on as long for the Rhodes win for me as the Manor win. So that's probably one of the reasons why I ended up getting paid less for winning one match as opposed to the other. Now we got all that out of the way, let's talk about how to improve Gun Rush. And if you have any additional ideas, as I've mentioned already, you're more than welcome to include your ideas, your thoughts, your views, and opinions regarding Gun Rush below in the comment section. First off, we have to increase and change the maps. They are horrible. They are too small. If you want to have a Battle Royale mode, Rockstar, you have to make it feel like a Battle Royale. So I think they need to do away with the time limit, as we talked about a moment ago, and they need to completely scrap these 5 maps and replace them with 5 additional maps, 5 new maps, bigger maps, based on, I don't know, the 5 states in Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead Online. New Austin, West Elizabeth, New Hanover, Lemoyne, and Amberino. Those should be the 5 maps. Each state should be the map itself. You're dropped into one of these states in a random spawn location, and you have no idea if you're going to end up in the center of the map, on the west side, the east side, the north side, or the south side. The bubbles should randomly shrink and shrink to one of these different locations instead of what appears to be always the center. Now, along with increasing the map size and making the bubbles shrink more random, you have to spread out the weapon drops, the horses, as well as spawn players further apart. All this will be beneficial to Gun Rush in a much larger map with a much bigger bubble, and perhaps even make the bubbles shrink time twice as long as it is currently, so that it gives players more time to, loot, look for weapons and health and perhaps even other items and get a horse. And along with expanding the amount of time for each of these Gun Rush matches, increase the overall payouts, that you earn more cash, more XP, and for the top players, more gold. Or at the very least, I think everybody should get something, at least one nugget. So that even if you're the first person killed at the beginning of a match, you should at least get one piece of gold, one nugget. That way you got something, you got a little bit of cash, you get a little bit of XP. It's further incentive to continue playing Gun Rush because you're getting paid more, and it feels more like a battle royale than what it currently feels like. But sadly, no matter how hard Rockstar tries with these improvements, whether they listen to the community or not regarding Gun Rush, there's always going to be limitations based on the game itself. For one thing, the player limit. As most of you know, battle royales have way more players. PUBG, along with Fortnite, I think 100 players, right? And Blackout may not have up to 100 players, but they have at least twice as many players in a match than in Gun Rush. I think it's like, what, 60 to 80 maybe, or 90 even now for Call of Duty Blackout. But that's always going to be a major issue for Gun Rush. The fact that Rockstar has limited themselves with that 32 player cap. That limit obviously applies to free mode, but it would be awesome if Rockstar found a way to at least double the size of the amount of players that could be in a Gun Rush Battle Royale event regarding one of these 5 state maps that I am recommending. But I really don't see that happening. The other issue is the year that Red Dead Online takes place, 1899. Now, unlike PUBG or Blackout, where you jump out of a military aircraft or a helicopter or a Chinook or a bus with a balloon on top of it, like in Fortnite, and you're able to parachute down to wherever you want in the map, you really can't do that in Red Dead Online because it's 1899. Yes, balloons existed in 1899. Now, according to Wikipedia, parachutes have been around more or less for quite some time, to some degree. But I would say the best bet might be maybe here, 1787. There was a frameless parachute by Andre Garnerin in 1787. I probably mispronounced that name, but I guess hypothetically you could have some sort of parachute that you would have jumping out of these balloons. Maybe there's, instead of one balloon, maybe there's several balloons floating above the map. You jump out of the balloon with a parachute that would be correct for the 1899 time period. You float down wherever you want to float down to, similar to Blackout, PUBG, Fortnite. But I think that would be way better than what we currently do. We just walk up and we randomly spawn in this location or that location when it comes to Gun Rush. I think it would be funner to be able to just parachute out of a balloon. It's a video game. Rockstar could take some liberties if they want and keep it kinda, sorta, somewhat realistic to the 1899 time period. Now, this final thing I want to bring up, and I think it's very important and vital to improving Gun Rush, is to replace auto-aim with free aim. Now, chances are I may not have gotten those 2 match wins if it was free aim, but it'll at least make Gun Rush a lot more difficult, challenging, and intense of a game mode than it currently is. So there's all my thoughts regarding how Rockstar could potentially improve Gun Rush. Feel free and let me know your thoughts about Gun Rush, as well as what you would like to see changed in Gun Rush. And if you have any other idea for something in Red Dead Online that you would like me to cover in a future Red Dead Online improving video, feel free and leave that below in the comment section.